Welcome back to another episode of Blue Couch Therapy. It's your boy, Better Yet the Man. Initially, I don't know how the lighting is. It's a little dark now. It's like almost 7 here in Toronto. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about something hilarious that happened to me today. And the topic of today's discussion is going to be essentially, let me see this light too, yeah, right? I'll even turn the car on so that I can not waste my battery. Is essentially that your old life is going to do everything that it can in order to scare you into making decisions that are aligned with your old life. So today I was on the road. We had a very busy day as of yesterday. Today made a lot of money on the road and things are going great. So then I leave. Actually, even before we talk about that, today was such, I'm even going to use this video as a log in my diary. Today was a very interesting day of reflection. So today was my second day as a 32-year-old, December the 10th. And today took me to a lot of old places and I was able to see them today from a different perspective. So, for example, I'm on the road all day driving around and today's route ended up taking me past my ex's house as well as past Sick Kids Hospital, the hospital that I essentially grew up in as a child. So it was kind of, I don't know if the word chilling perhaps, synchronicity, whatever it may be, that caused me to go there. Of course it was for the job, but like, it felt so surreal. It felt so surreal to pass by my ex's house, our old apartment where I used to live, and to see how things change, how things were still the same. You know, it hasn't been that long, but just, it was so interesting to see the feelings that came up in me as a result of passing by in the area, the warmth that I felt in my heart about where I used to walk and where we used to hold hands and enjoy as we used to, you know, live in the area, fun stuff. And then when I went to the hospital to see all like the food court and all the places that I used to visit where I used to run around as a child, and the smell of the hospital brought back so many memories of my mom and my dad and my childhood. And then to see the little boy that was running around the hospital that had a bandage on his arm as well too, similar to me when I would have been around at that age. It was interesting. It put a lot of things into perspective for me in the sense of like how grateful that I am to have overcome so many journeys and so many obstacles in my life, because I know not everybody's as fortunate enough or is as fortunate as me to be able to say that. So I say to you guys today that today was a very interesting day. Today was a very interesting day, December the 10th, 2024. Very interesting day in my life in terms of just retrospective and looking at the future by seeing the past, seeing where I came from, seeing all the things that I've grown through, that I've uncovered in my life, that I've unpacked. It was interesting. It was fun. I'm having so much more fun. Like, I recently just quit my job. I'm free now. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur and I've always wanted to make money on my own terms and have my own business. And now that I've made the leap, I'm starting to see how things are growing so quickly in my life. And we still have a ways to go. There's still some debtors that I need to pay off. I still owe money to certain people. But I'm not worried about it. I know that I'm enough. And the thing is that whenever I think about like, oh, how much money that I owe, I'm always just kind of like, yeah, but money is debt, debt is money. You can't leverage one without the other, and you can't balance your books as a business without the other. It's just a matter of making sure that you have good debt. Currently, mine is not. It's mostly consumer high interest, but we're cutting through it, all right? We hustling in these streets from sun up to sundown on y'all to cut through it ASAP and never again. So that would be my third time essentially running it up, like getting credit, running it up, paying it off, running it up again, paying it off, running it up again. So now we're just gonna pay it off, and this time for good. So life is good, life is sweet, life is abundant. And I always just think that like, I don't have any fear in terms of like the money that I owe people, because I'll even share that later on as I share the story. But it is essentially that you can't have one without the other, and there's no need to be fearful, because the same me that dug the hole can dig myself out of it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, I'm like, if I got into this mess, I can fix it. 2 weeks of any hustling will get you out any jam. All right? Word to your boy. So what I meant to say that this video is that it's funny to see how life is going to throw old curveballs at you in order to see how you're going to react. Because an old me might, if I wasn't, what's the word I'm looking for? If I wasn't emotionally aware, if I wasn't in tune with myself, I might have passed by my ex's house and been like, yo, let me go see if she's there. I'll try to see if I can, you know what niggas do. Or I could have been like, I could have gone to the hospital and broke down because it just reminded me of my mother and all the things that I have gone through myself at that place. So, but I look at these things and I laugh. I look at these places and I smile and I think to myself, like, this is incredible that I'm able to transcend and I'm able to see, a different perspective. I love being able to look back at certain things and say, okay, I've seen a different perspective and I'm not the same person that I used to be before. So where I think this, where I say that life is going to show you and it's going to throw every obstacle in your way, it's really going to make you question if what you're doing is the right thing, because you're going to feel as though things are not working at a speed perhaps in which you want them to work, or wherever the case may be. Although speed is relative, and don't allow the trappings of the 3D world to make you feel as though things are not working out, because everything is working out in your favor and you will not be disappointed. Guaranteed. So the funny thing happened to me today. As I was leaving the hospital, getting ready to go drop off another package, I get a phone call from a collections agency talking about, hey, we have your Bell Canada account. And mind you, this is an account that I'm very well aware of, and I've been in contact with the company, and we have been making payment arrangements, and there's documented phone calls and emails of proof of payment and all these things, and they still sent the account out to collections. So I was kind of like, originally in my mind I wanted to be like, what about, now I'm gonna feel scared but then I thought to myself, well, all I'm gonna have to do is just bring this information to the bureau and tell them to prove. The onus will then be on them to prove that I was not trying to make payments and I was ducking and dodging the ops, so they had to send it to collections, and I have bare paperwork, document everything, people. So, what is there to be worried about? Even if it did go on because essentially like I said, best case scenario is that it doesn't get reported to the bureau, and then I can just deal with it with the agency that currently has the file now, which I think is what happened, to be honest, because they said they don't report anything to the bureau, so I think they probably just slid the file over to them, sold it at a whatever percentage they be buying debt. We can talk about that in another video if you guys want to. They be buying debt for pennies on the dollar. So that's why with these collection agencies, I never get too, once you understand the system, I never get too caught up. You can't scare me as a collection agent, to say that like, oh, well, we have your file now. Prove that you even have the debt, that you even purchased the debt legally. But that's a story for another day. And the old me would have been afraid, would have been scared, would have been like, oh man, I gotta go get another job now. I gotta go and like do something so that I can get money so that I can pay them. But I always, in my mind, I laugh because I'm just like, y'all are gonna get the money when I get it. Because you can't call me and tell me, can you pay more? My G, if there was more to give, you would have already had it. This phone call wouldn't even have been apparent. You feel me? So it just makes me laugh to think about what the tricks that the 3D world is going to render in your life in order to try to throw you off and knock you off your pivot and make you go back to the life in which you're used to. Because it's so easy. It's so easy to forget all the progress that we've made without remembering that, like, without remembering first how far we've come in such a short amount of time. We've been conditioned and we've been programmed for such a long stretch of our lives. For me, 32 years, right? 32 years. So to sit there and understand it and then want to start running immediately, that's why I always, I move fast. I'm a very fast mover in all things. Is like, but first you have to understand that, okay, you got to learn how to put your head up. Then you got to learn how to sit up. Then you have to learn how to crawl. Then you got to learn how to stand. Then you got to learn how to walk. And then you can learn how to run. You feel me? So in all these things and in this journey of success and development in which we're creating for ourselves, it's like a 6-step process, all things in the 6. I'm a life path number 6 as well too. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's very interesting to see and being able to recognize when life is throwing a curveball at us in order for us to see how we'll handle it. Because it's always like, okay, you're on the up and up, and then something's gonna happen. It's gonna be a car note payment or like a parking ticket or something that's gonna come up in your life that's gonna cause you to feel as though there's not enough, or to feel as though uncertainty and anxiety. But it's really just 3D, or it's just the world trying to hold you back one last time, saying, no, this is what you're used to. You're used to lack. Excuse me. You're used to there not being enough. You're used to something happening, always something happening. Whenever you get a check will come in for 5,000 for you, and then something will happen that'll be 4,500, and then now you're back to the equilibrium, because the body and the spirit around us wants to stay at equilibrium. It wants to stay at homeostasis. So that's why, if you think about it in the sense of like, okay, well, just think about it from a perspective of what you want, pivot to where you want to go, then everything will have to align with that frequency, without you having to do too much, without you having to try to, force the issue at hand. And I think that's the most interesting part, is that you don't have to force the issue. Once you realize that, like, okay, life is playing a trick on you, I think it's the Power of I Am, his channel, he talks about deny, choose, be. So when I run into that situation, I remind myself, okay, deny this. The collection agency, talk to the people. This goes back to the previous video that we had about creating a charming personality, because they're easy to work with me, because she's like, oh, thanks for calling me back. Thanks for, blah, 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 and all this stuff. And I say, hey, no problem. I'm trying to sort this out with you guys. I want to make sure that everything gets taken care of, because this was not the original plan. So it was y'all that messed it up. So that's why, being easy to work with, having a personality that allows you to adapt and not be like upset, and it makes things easier. It makes life flow easier, so that I don't have to get caught up in the emotions and the energies that are associated with those types of feelings. So I think it's cool. I think it's like, it makes me laugh. It literally makes me laugh, because I think about, like, okay, you have to detach yourself from the outcome in order for you to receive the outcome. So for me, I'm just like, well, it's funny. Sorry, I just got a message on my IG. I was just reading to see what it was about. It's funny to me to think about, like, I can't be ecstatic about $350,000 in my bank account if I'm going to be sad if it's negative 350. You have to be equal either way. I'm good if I have it. I'm good if I don't have it. Either way, I'm me. Either way, the sun comes up. Either way, I'm going to be walking in the trails and being in line with nature. So to me, it doesn't really matter. All these things are just trappings of the 3D world. They're just figments of creation. So yeah, guys, I say this to say that life is going to throw curveballs at you. Life is always going to try to test you one last time before you're on your way to greatness. And you can mark my words, I've got a lot more to prove. Today is December the 10th, 2024, and we'll be able to look back at this video. This is why I do these videos, as a testament of what you can do and the power that you can create with your mind and with your intention. So one of my manifesto, document everything, because if my first book, How to Get It, A Brief Guide to Getting in Tune with Your Inner Self, the follow-up is Document Everything, a detailed manifesto about how how I created the life that I'm working on, or how I created the life of my desires. You can see the title is still pending, as the book is not completed at this time. So I say all that to say, these are our seeds, these are documents, these are proofs that you can look at, that we can look at in the universe, and see that, like, okay, it takes this much days to manifest, because I posted this video on December the 10th, and then we can say by like March 31st, it's gonna be this or that, So just being able to look back and document my journey is really what's the most exciting part of all of this. And I'm excited to help people along the way uncover their journey and walk their truth in their greatest alignment and in their highest potential. There's no limit to the potential of man, man's mind, man's imagination. Let's lock in, let's tap into that potential and create all the things that we've ever dreamed of. Okay? With that, guys, it's been about 15 minutes. If you listen to me this far, I love you. You guys know me. I love you so much. If there's anything I can do to help you guys, please let me know. My first book, How to Get It, A Brief Guide to Getting in Tune with Your Inner Self, is available now. You can find my links down in the description below. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Stay in tune with me. Let's connect. I want to build a mastermind group with those that are serious about it. Side note, as of yesterday's news, El Salvador discovering all that gold, the $3 trillion worth of gold in their reserves. Wow. Let's see how that changes the world economy, because they're also bullish on crypto, digital assets. So imagine that they just found $3 trillion and they're already in the digital asset space, trying to position themselves as a powerhouse in the future. They literally stumbled across the market cap of the entire digital assets economy, 3 trillion plus. Incredible, 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 incredible. Okay, with that, guys, love you lots. See you soon. Talk to you guys in the next one. I am out. Peace.